Are we speaking tea to the same?
Stop saying my name, guys.
Stop.
It's Sir Staff? Respect, come on.
It's too much.
You put coffee
Use my
around
title.
tea.
I earned it.
Highest.
Did you go?
Sales is
Are we good?
Yeah, good.
So I'm Kayla. I know that some of you have met me. You have all met me at this point because I checked all of you in. This is my assistant KT. Pause for laughter. This is KT. Thank you. We did inform Rob that we thought it was strange that you have two Americans in the UK giving a lecture on tea, but here we are. Rob is not a good tea maker. He puts the milk in while he's brewing.
Whoa!
Yes,
Whoa! That's right. Okay, first.
this is true. He does do that. It's terrible. So, this is going to be a little bit of us talking about tea. We are both very passionate about tea, and it's very nerdy. We'll tell you a little bit about tea that maybe you don't know, maybe you do, and then lightly touch on the Wheel of Time because neither of us are really experts in that. And hopefully you enjoy our tea journey that we're going to go on together. And we'll talk about the tea that we have made, and you get to try them all. Full disclosure, the blueberry tea that we made, they did not clean the urn out, so there was coffee in it, we did not realize. So
Top one's tea is tainted.
it is tainted. There is tainted. I put it in my mouth, and it was really uncomfortable. I know. Don't put random coffee taint in your mouth from a hotel. But it should be resolved now. Those teas are not sweetened. If you like sweetener in your tea, you can, I suppose, go get packets of sugar. But, so, and then if you have questions, we won't have time for them.
Don't ask anything we don't know.
Yes. And my notes are also for sale if you'd like, and I look like an insane person with things that I have written down here. So, tea was discovered in China. This feels like a lecture. It's fantastic. There's lore on how we actually discovered or started making tea. So originally the leaves were, you just chewed on them. And then one day, slaves were boiling water to purify it for the emperor, and magically tea leaves that had already been dried magically blew into the pot of boiling water. They did not notice, and the emperor was like, hey, I should like this. That's how we got tea. At least that's the lore. We don't actually know. Interesting fact, we learned this. We went on a tea plantation tour. There is a single one in North America, in a very small town in South Carolina. And they export all of the tea out, which was interesting. But all tea, white tea, green tea, black tea, oolong, all from the same plant. There is a single plant that all tea comes from. The way you get different types of tea depends on the process in which you treat the tea. So all of it's dried, all of it's put on racks, shaky on the big racks. The difference comes from black tea, they let ferment until it gets black because it's a plant, it originally was green. It takes the longest to make, that's why it's black. Oolong is the same process, it's that fermentation process, you just don't do it for as long. Green tea, then logically, we don't do it at all, we just dry the little tea babies. And white tea, which is not really good for tea plants to make because you're picking the leaves when they're still really small because they're more fragrant and floral at that point. It's very bad for the plant and you have to use a lot more. So white tea is not good for tea plants. So if you like tea, don't drink white tea because it's not nice. Like I said, we're just going to talk a lot about tea. Do you want to add anything? No. That's fair. 84% of all tea consumed in the world is black tea. It is by far the most popular. Herbal tea, also known as tisane, or tisane, or however you'd like to pronunciate that. Herbal tea is not in fact tea. Herbal tea is putting things in water and letting them soak because it doesn't actually contain tea. So common misconception, I suppose, but I feel like most people know.
It's leaf soup.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
just
leaf
leaf
soup. It is just different leaves than tea, right? So people are like, I like chamomile tea. Chamomile tea doesn't have tea in it. It's just chamomile. Does anybody know who consumes the most tea in the world?
Me.
That's
No, I actually
impressive.
don't even bring that much to it.
As a nation, as a nation, as a country.
Yes, per capita. I will put that caveat.
The Irish.
But
Ireland.
Ireland. Yeah. By starting amounts, shockingly.
Winning!
Yes. Roundabout top 3 is going to be Ireland, the UK, and China. China consumes the most tea, but they also have the most people, so that makes sense. They export the most tea as well. So most tea, full stop, comes from China. So those are kind of my tea facts. Green tea is considered a superfood. It has a lot of medicinal and healing properties. They've done studies with it. They have drawn conclusions that it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, it's an antioxidant, and they also said anti-cancer, which I feel like is a made-up word. Also, if that's true, that's really cool. Tea bags were invented in the U.S. This is so boring. I am bored by this.
No, it's not. We are captivated.
Because we like to do everything to destroy the planet in the States. We invented tea bags. And tea purists do not like using tea bags because it condenses all of your leaves, so you don't get as good of a soak with your brewing. So that's why strainers are more popular. Fun fact, you cannot buy tea bags anywhere in this country. We went to 7 stores and did not find any, so we used our own. We're going to call that a rustic tea bag. That is a cheesecloth.
That is how you would make tea in Brandman, folks.
Yes, that's Wheel of Time legit tea, man.
I also
You did so good.
You're welcome, that was on purpose.
We look authentic, including the hair tie. They were brand new hair ties, don't worry. They were not in my hair before I used them. To steal. It's not hair tea. That would be real gross. Okay, so that's kind of my tea explanation. That's all I'm going to bore you with. My tea explanation, yes. We have a calendar at home. Oh, yes, it's
No question.
Okay.
It's just something that may interest you and anyone else is interested in.
fantastic.
5-10 minute walk from here is Manchester Art Gallery.
Okay.
There is a whole big room display in there at the moment on history and tea in the art. And it's free to get in, and it's 5 minutes. I'll happily tell you where it is, but I was there the other week.
So if Kayla and Katie run out at 5:30 when we finish, you know why.
Yes, we've got that. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we went to the tea plantation in South Carolina. Yeah. And it was really just, we rode on like a big tractor type thing, and a man drove us around to the tea fields, and there were alligators, and it's weird, but we really enjoyed it. And so we eventually will be cultivating our own tea plants because we are really that passionate about our tea. So in the Wheel of Time, and this is all based off of what I found on the internet. I did not do a lot of research and look through all of the books. You found one page.
I'll say thanks, Rob,
Yes.
for all your hard work
Yes,
here.
Rob actually gets credit for this whole thing. He did it all. All of the tea things.
And you read the books, so.
That's
Thanks. You read the books.
Yeah, one time. But there were like 6 different teas. I'm sure someone out there might actually know the true number.
Where's the wiki go?
They're not all named. Some of them they just reference. For example, one of the teas that we made is blueberry tea, and that was just kind of what it was called. There is not a name. There's the blue spine tea, which the Aiel use as a punishment for the bad Aiel. When they are naughty, you get to drink this really nasty bitter tea, I suppose, which is actually what this is. So someone gets to drink
one special person.
It's bad Aiel tea.
So
Correct, Rob?
I actually won't.
Wait, is it all of these ones here?
No.
Fully different. This is just the taste.
This is
In
this
that
one
one cup.
cup.
This one
Yes.
specific tiny tea.
Wow.
that I have also drank out of, so there's a backwash.
You are.
You're really
Real
selling
special.
it. You're really selling it.
Thank you, thank you.
That's why it's in front of me.
So we did not intentionally make blue spine tea. We did make flatwort tea, which in the books they talk about being a medicinal tea that is used to treat like fatigue, sore muscles. There's Wheel of Time new words that they use that mean those things that I have just now translated into that Wheel of Time. So we did make a tea inspired by that. It is on the left-hand side, your right, and this is what it looks like. And you guys are welcome to, when we get to the point where you get to try tea, smell it. It's lovely. We were intentional in our choices. We looked at what it's supposed to accomplish in the books and what we can do with ingredients that we felt like are relatively well available to what part of the world Robert Jordan supposedly was inspired by different areas. But so it has black tea, just a really basic, it's in the song, right?
It's in the song.
And then we added lemongrass in here. There is cinnamon bark, not cinnamon sticks or anything, cinnamon bark. And there are dried blueberries and dried cherries. So all of them contain different properties that would help with fatigue, that would help with sore muscles, that would help with any sort of general ailments you have. So you're welcome to try it. That's going to be the one on you guys' right, our left. So it is an herbal tea. It does also contain tea. So it is both an herbal tea and a tea.
And a leaf soup.
With berries. So if you are allergic to any of the things that I listed, don't drink it. Or do, and
Having it
Makes the consequences.
hopefully you're not going to die.
We can't tell you how to live your life.
So that's this one. And it's also nice to look at. It does look like a bowl of grass.
As all the best teas should.
Right. The next referenced tea that we liked was blueberry tea, which they were drinking in Caitlin, so we felt like it would be a little bit more of a fancy tea. And being a huge Earl Grey fan, I stand for Earl Grey, for sure, we made Earl Grey. So in order to make a tea, an Earl Grey tea, you basically take a black tea and you add bergamot oil to it. This one we also, you can see, has vanilla beans in the pods. So I extracted all of the, I extracted all of the bean goo from the vanilla beans and have added it. And we have added blueberries, which is what therefore makes it blueberry tea book. So this is what, in my world, would have been what they would have been drinking fancy tea and came. So you're welcome to smell it as well. So it's just like I said, black tea, bergamot oil, vanilla beans, and blueberries. It's lovely. It is the one on the right. And
With the bag.
drink at your own risk, because I don't know what happened. Maybe it needs sugar. The last tea that we felt like was the most prominent is fork-root tea. So you can see that there's mint in it. This is, we made this one, it's not cold, it's conference room temperature. So it has mint in it, it also has black tea. There is also a fun special ingredient that hopefully, if you drink a decent amount of it, will make your mouth numb and your lips numb, because we felt like that's the closest we could get to, we're not going to,
Without actually
we're not
drinking.
ambient tea, but it should make your mouth and your tongue and your lips numb, and a couple of minutes after that is complete, it'll cause you to salivate. So have fun. Full disclosure, it is not an exceedingly pleasurable tea. It's not
What allergies to that?
so it is Szechuan peppercorn is what gives it those properties. There's an oil in Szechuan peppercorn that will do that. It was processed in a facility that contains peanuts. So if you have a peanut allergy, unfortunately,
Steer clear, probably.
you can't have that one. The rest of them, I have verified there's nothing else happening with those, but that one it did say processed in a facility that has peanuts. So it is sweet because we made a simple syrup with the peppercorns, because that's how we can get the most concentrated flavor without having it sit in Szechuan peppercorn water, which we sampled. We have sampled all of these teas.
So
We
many
made them.
times.
We made them, so we had to try them in different formulations, and some of them were real stinkers. There was some real bad tea. The first peppercorn one we did was absolutely garbage.
It was a rough time.
It was really, really gross.
You really know how to sell your
Thank
product.
you. I was like, are you going to sell this? I'm like, well, when I'm done talking about it, no one will want to buy it. So no.
The important part is it was a real stinker.
Slightly less of one now.
It is a better one.
Wink.
It does not smell good. I will tell you that. So if you would like to try it, just don't take a big whiff before you do.
Why am I so excited about that?
I'm taking you on a culinary journey. It's not that bad. It really, it's not as bad as I have made it seem. Yes,
It's
you
very
got, you
herbal.
got to try the later iterations of it.
I was very
The
clever.
initial crack at it was,
I was like, I need to go do something else for a few days and I'll come back.
it was really bad. And the first time that we actually got the peppercorns to work properly, I was like, oh, I burned my tongue. And then I was like, wait! It's not burnt, it's numb. And then it was numb forever. It was really strong, and we drank, we're like, oh, this isn't too bad. And we drank a lot of it. Don't do that.
And we drank it so definitely was we burned our tongues. We're like, never mind.
It's not. So it's fun. It may not, we haven't tried it, well, we did drink some of that this morning.
Yes, we did.
It's not going to be immediate, and it's not going to be like overwhelming. It's not like going to the dentist. It's a subtle feeling, right? I'm really good at this. I could quit my job.
Okay, let me just try it.
It's more fun than the dentist.
It is more fun than the dentist.
Definitely more fun than the dentist.
So it is minty, because that's what it said in the books. So it's, I would say, similar to, for most of you that have not had sweet tea in the South, it's like a minty sweet tea. It is a little herbal.
That's generous. It is very herbal. Let's go with it's very herbal.
Yeah, surprisingly so, because the Szechuan, it's peppercorn, so you would think that it's peppery. It does not read peppery when you grind it up. It doesn't read peppery when you drink the hot peppery swill water. It's very herbal. Surprising. And actually, we did learn, you're not allowed to import Szechuan peppercorns into the U.S. because there's some sort of bug associated with them that would destroy citrus crops. So this is a special treat for Katie and I. So you have a question?
Yeah, what type of mint did you use? And did you try experimenting with the different types of mint?
We
to
tried
get better
the mint
flavour?
that I was able to buy at the store. No, this isn't Tesco.
This is Tesco mint.
I don't know. I would say it's
Probably
just,
peppermint.
it's definitely not spearmint. I think it's just regular peppermint. Freshly picked this morning by my lovely team, Katie and I, in this giant pot. It's fun. So, we enjoyed making it. Hopefully you enjoy trying it. If you don't, you can keep your judgment to yourself. You know, if we send out a con survey later, you can make no comments about my tea. No comments. Like, I like the tea. This tea is great. Kayla and Katie are amazing.
If you have complaints, give them to Rob.
Yes, my name
And
is Rob.
he can just do whatever he needs to do with those.
I will file them appropriately and keep it from Kayla's eyes to save your lives.
So, that being said, unless you have any other questions, yes,
In what order do you suggest that we try them?
I would do
These ones
the-
first.
I would do
them in order as you
yes,
come.
yes.
Because this one is going to be more bitter. So that one is, so the one farthest to this side is very lightly black tea. It is the most similar to an herbal tea. So it's the lightest flavor. This is a little bit more bitter. This is going to make your tongue go down a little. Also, it's a stronger taste.
We don't have an absolutely massive amount of cups, so if you could try and reuse the cups, that would be great. I don't actually know how many they gave us. I also don't know how to count that high, so.
I'll say there are, come on out, we'll grab you some cups.
If you're like, ooh, I really like that tea, then I should tell you how I made that. Yes.
So come try the tea.
So have some tea. Smell my tea.
Sniff my tea.
Yes. Isn't it fantastic? That's, yeah, unfortunate. But I think that's what
Have you ever had coconut?
No, is it good?